Just when you think the loser, Jeb Bush, couldn't be embarrassed anymore by losing to both Donald Trump and Ted Cruz, turns out that now his campaign is in serious debt.
Give me a break.
According to financial filings, Jeb Bush's now dead campaign is more than $250,000 in debt. How the once sort of kind of mighty have fallen. Now, how much in debt are we talking? Well, according to disclosure filings, his campaign is about $260,000 in debt, and he has just 31 grand in cash on hand. Now, to show how incredibly pathetic that is, this is the guy, remember, who sat on a pile of more than $115 million in cash. He had a lot of money, and he blew it. According to Mother Jones, a year ago, before Bush was even a declared candidate, he was working closely to wring dollars out of big donors for the benefit of his super PAC, Right to Rise, which, in their words, vacuumed up more than $100 million in its first 6 months of existence. Bush aides talked of a shock and awe campaign that would wow and cow his rival. And wow, he did by spending tons of that money for no actual benefit whatsoever. And the people that, like me, that were actually watching his campaign implode were also wowed by how terrible of a campaigner he actually was. According to Right to Rise's filing from last summer on April 15th, 2015, about a year before the new report of the campaign's debt, the super PAC, Right to Rise, raised $852,000 just on that day alone. The single biggest donor that day, James C. Flores, the CEO of mining giant Freeport McMoran's oil operation, yes, McMoran, gave $250,000. That's about how much he owes. He could about wipe out that debt with just that one contribution. Now, obviously, the campaign finance rules say that, no, that's illegal. You can't actually do that. But that's just to show the difference between now and then, when he was rolling in the dough. Well, he ain't rolling in nothing now. Now, even more hilarious, last April, Bush was actually worried about being seen as having too much money. Like having a Mitt Romney problem. Like, guys, hey, I need to look like I'm more like a regular person, so stop giving me $1 million checks and only give me $250,000 checks. You know, like what normal people get. I don't think he quite gets that. And so that's what he did. He asked the super PAC donors to not give so many big checks. I don't know, man, I might seem too rich. Don't give me so much money. I mean, give it to me, but in smaller amounts, more checks. And it's funny because less than a year from then, those same donors ended up doing this.
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
And now for the final kick in the pants. According to these filings, the biggest outstanding debt from Jeb Bush's failed campaign is from a $250,000 loan issued during the last days of his campaign. By who? By Bush himself. He wrote himself a check. Turns out, man, look, I thought Republicans were really good at investment. Turns out that, at least in Jeb's case, his worst mistake was investing in himself.
Please clap.